I really think we're starting to click. And I think at home, I believe we can beat anybody, and I truly believe that. Away, we're always on the edge a little bit. Oh, it's an away game. We're not doing very well. But
I think this is a chance to make a statement win on the road where we can pick up some momentum in our away form, in my opinion.
Welcome back to BCFC Royal Blue. On the back of a fantastic 4-1 victory at home to Norwich City, Birmingham City travelled the short distance to the Hawthorns to meet West Bromwich Albion. Now, in this podcast, myself and Matt, as always, we'll do a preview of the match, give you a bit of information about the Baggies, and predict what we will think will be the starting lineup, and maybe a score prediction too. So, obviously, Matt, we got tickets for this, haven't we? Looking forward to going there. Are you looking forward to going to Hawthorns?
Hawthorns is always a place I look forward to going. And as far as the Championship goes, Dad, apart from the CBS for me and you, this is probably our closest game in the Championship, isn't it? What do you reckon? 35 minutes from my house. So
yeah, it's close, isn't it, between the two?
I'd say Coventry and West Brom are the two closest games for us in the Championship. Yeah. So on a Wednesday night, that's always appreciated. Only like a 35-minute drive, which is nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Dad, just before we get into the West Brom game, what a week it's been for this club. You know, just to reflect on that, I feel like at the minute I'm on like my adrenaline's only just leaving my system. I feel like with the reveal of the stadium, 4 home goals, fantastic 4-1 win against Norwich, like my adrenaline and my excitement this week has just been sky high. I feel like I'm just now almost having that, kind of like an adrenaline hangover. Yeah. Starting to settle down a little bit, which is nice. But looking forward to this. And I think it's worth reflecting on the weekend before we get into the analysis of West Brom and Blues. And we go into this off the back of the 4-1 win against Norwich, and West Brom go into this after a 3-2 loss away at Coventry. Of course, West Brom were actually 2-0 up, and they lost in the end 3-2 away at Coventry. But from gauging social media and having a look at the game, Dad, there's a lot of frustration at their player called Malumbi.
Got sent off.
He got sent off. And I think what I'm gauging from the fan base at the minute is he is a decent player and he's quite popular with the fans of his like tenacity, his work rate, his determination. He's a good player, but he's a loose cannon. He's a bit volatile, clearly a bit independable. Kind of reminds me a bit of our own Jack Robinson.
Well, I looked at the sending off as well, Matt.
It was silly, wasn't it?
No, but it was almost like a carbon copy. It was like in exactly the same position where Robinson got sent off against Coventry, because we went down to 10 men as well. And
both silly challenges.
They were. And,
but Malumbi's, Dad, it was completely not needed. Centre of the park. Jack Robinson's, you could argue, if he went through, he was through on goal. Malumbi's was in the middle of the park with 4 defenders behind him. Completely irrelevant. I know the West Brom fans were fuming.
Well, they do, because those type of decisions by the players ruin games, because we felt that we were always going to lose to Coventry before Robinson got sent off, because I think we was already 2-0 down by then anyway. But it made our job even more ridiculously. And just like I saw the sending off for Malumbi, West Brom, only lost the game by 1 goal, and they could possibly argue they obviously clearly be much stronger with their 11 men on the pitch. But going back to the match, Matt, I mean, we've on a number of occasions highlighted the fact that our home record is absolutely brilliant. In fact, we've got the second best home record now in the Championship, but our away record, we've got the 5th worst away record in the whole of the Championship, and that tells the story, doesn't it?
There's a big gap, isn't there?
There is, and it tells the story that if we, our season is going to be determined by what we do with our away form, and this is a really important game for us, because we're great at home, but we've got to transfer some of that home form now to our away form. And this is a good place to do it. It's a local derby, isn't it?
But what I'd say about that, Dad, West Brom are sitting in 17th. And again, with all due respect to West Brom, and I said this about Norwich as well, Dad, typically when you look at a Championship table over the past 5 to 10 years, you expect the likes of West Brom and Norwich to be in and around the playoff positions, don't you? Very typically.
Yeah, you say that, Matt, right? But they are 17th. You're right, but they are 4 points off the playoffs.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
no. Because the table is so tight in this league. There's like 10 points between 3rd position and 20th.
I know, but
that's crazy.
You are absolutely right, Dad. But West Brom don't typically sit in 17th.
No,
they're not a 17th team in the Championship. So I think the pressure is starting to slightly climb on Ryan Mason, is it?
Yeah, it is Ryan Mason,
their manager, and they're not going to be happy with that. In fact, Dad, I think I said in the next 5 fixtures podcast, I actually work with a West Brom fan, and he was so underwhelmed with them this season. He said they're not creating nowhere near enough chances moving forward, and they are a little bit more vulnerable than previous seasons at the back. And again, that is a recipe for inconsistent results, and that's a recipe for a mid-table finish, really. Yeah. In terms of, I know it's early, I say it's early, actually we are starting to take shape now in the Championship, but there's a lot of football to play still this season.
But they're not in great form. I mean, I think this is where West Brom fans are getting frustrated, is that, they've won 2 of the last 8. and they're both home games against Preston and against Oxford. And they started off so well. I mean, in the first 4 games, they won 3 and drew 1. I think they were top or second after those games. So I think that, optimism at the beginning was really high, but now they've sort of tailed off considerably. And if you look, there's a lot of red, which demonstrates a loss on their record over the last 12 games. But they've only lost once at home, and that was at home to Derby County. That's their only home defeat. So
I saw that, Dad, as well. Honestly, West Brom absolutely battered them in terms of like shots on goal and possession. They absolutely. But John Eustace did what John Eustace does, and he managed to claw that win. I couldn't believe that when I saw the highlights. It was West Brom chance.
Yeah.
And the fact they lost that, they would have been kicking themselves. But yeah, sorry, Dad, interrupted.
No,
there.
that's fine.
But the point is, their form is incredibly inconsistent, and over the last 8 to 10 games,
yeah, and I think they're going to be relying on their home form because they need to. Obviously, they have only lost once, but then if you look at the games, they've also drawn 3 and won 3. So three wins, 3 draws, and 1 defeat at home. But their away form is they've actually won 3 times away. They beat Stoke, which I think is a good result, beating Stoke away.
1-0,
they beat Wrexham 3-2 away earlier in the season. I watched that game on the coach. I can't remember where we were travelling to. But,
Blackburn.
Yes. Yeah, and they beat Norwich, but everybody beats Norwich away, don't they? But they have lost to the likes of Coventry, Middlesbrough, Millwall, Ipswich, Watford and Charlton. To be fair, they're all good teams.
What do you do with that, though, Dad? That is such a mixed bag of results. That, to me, if you're a West Brom fan, you must be sitting there thinking, what team's going to turn up this weekend?
Yeah, and we know how that feels, don't we, going previous seasons.
We do.
I think the issues they've got is that they are the 6th lowest scorers in the division. They've scored 16 goals in their 15 games, which is equal with Blackburn. And defensively, they're not too bad. They've conceded 19, so that puts them about just above mid-table in the thing. So it's clearly an issue with scoring goals. And I know a few Baggies fans as well, and they say they are creating chances, but they're just wasting them. And I think Isaac Price, he's their top scorer. He's the one that they highlight as a threat, but he misses a lot of chances. But you could argue that a forward who at least creates chances, at least doing the right things.
He's their attacking midfielder, isn't it? I saw a goal he scored against Watford away, and he just pinged it out from about 20-25 yards, kind of on the inside of the edge of the box. Beautiful goal. So again, they're capable of scoring. In fact, I've seen them score a couple of screamers this season from outside the box, West Brom. They are capable of scoring an absolute belter. But I think, Dad, Ryan Mason, his strategy tends to be quite risk-averse in terms of, we said this about Blues, didn't we, Dad? When we go 1-0 up, we want to see us go for the second and the third and the fourth.
Which we have been at home.
And we are starting to do that now, especially at home. But I think with West Brom, they're kind of backing off a bit and they're not really, putting that foot on the neck. They're just kind of being a bit more... They're trying not to lose over dominating games or going for the kill. And actually, sometimes it's caught them out and cost them a few points this season. So I think actually Ryan Mason might have to look at his strategy and go, we can't afford to be that risk averse anymore. We're going to have to go for it and go at teams because, when they do go 1 up or 2 up or whatever, they do then drop the possession in the final third. They take less shots on target. So I think actually West Brom fans will want to see their team go at teams a bit more. Exactly like we were saying, 5, 6, 7 games ago.
Yeah.
Thankfully, we seem to be, especially at home, a completely different team at the moment.
But they're going to have to be careful though, Matt, because if they come at us, at the moment we're capable of really hurting them. Chris Davis has really took the handbrake off. We're scoring goals for fun. I mean, okay, we've won our last 3 home games, scoring 4 goals in each of those games. In between, in that was a loss to Middlesbrough, 2-1 away, and I was at Middlesbrough, and I don't think that was. I don't think we should have lost that game. We had enough in that. We didn't quite fire completely.
A draw was probably fair from that.
I think so. And that was away at Middlesbrough. I think they have to be really weak. I don't think they're going to want to play us at the moment. I don't think. I think they're probably catching us at the wrong time. Our front 4 are. Electric.
So when we get going, hopefully with Derby at the moment,
really our midfield, our 6s, Leonard and Doyle are absolutely brilliant, and our back line's absolutely superb. I mean, it's all over the pitch. We're really starting to really establish ourselves. And what I like about what we're doing at the moment, we'll get onto our team in just a moment, is that we're getting more of a settled starting lineup, which we haven't had for ages. So basically the starting lineup is virtually picking itself apart from injuries and suspensions.
That's how it should be.
Yeah.
And I think that we noticed it in League One last season. You famously highlight, I think I do as well, Exeter away, putting Ben Davies back in the centre half, even at the start of the season last season, Chris Davies was tinkering with the team. It got settled down about November, and then we went on an absolute tear, November, December. And it seems like we're doing something similar this season. Chris Davies has been tinkering, he's been finding his team, we're settling down. Our front four, especially now, are firing on all cylinders, almost scoring for fun, dare I say, at home. So if we can convert that to away form, Dad, West Brom have got one hell of a game on their hands for sure this Wednesday evening coming up. But
we look through their team, Matt. Though they've got some very good players, and I'm surprised they're 17th. And I know we just said that the 17th based upon the tightness of the table. So one win they could go up to 9th, couldn't they? So I mean, it's that tight. But they brought in Nate Phillips, didn't they, from Liverpool as a centre half. And he's alongside Chris Meppen. So they've got a bit of experience and a bit of young blood, let's say, in that centre half position. And I look at their forward line as well. Like we mentioned Isaac Price, he's their number 10, as you've mentioned, their attacking midfielder. And Hegerby, who they bought from Brann in the summer, he cost them about $5.5 million, I think, something like that. He's the one that scored 2 goals against Coventry. Yeah. So at the moment,
and he scored against Oxford as well, Dad. And what I'd say about him, what we need to be really, really careful of is his runs. He's a very intelligent off-the-ball striker. So if you look at the goals that he scores, he's always losing his centre-half by half a yard. If you look at the Oxford goal, Dad, he's about on the edge of the box or the penalty spot, and he darts like to the near post, and then the header kind of goes over the keeper. Fantastic goal from a striker's point of view. And again, if you look at those goals against Coventry, good finishes from a striker. So he worries me a little bit in terms of his little darting runs. Look at Clara Neumann. I saw this completely went under the radar against Norwich, Dad. Norwich had a chance in the second half, and the Blues put it on their social media, and it's a shot, and Neumann just puts his heart on the line and just gets it there with a nick of time on his shin. Again, we are defensively solid, but his runs are something we definitely have to be wary of.
He's a little bit like Dutch, I think, in terms of his intelligence. So he's not exactly the type of style of player, but they bought him to score goals. He's their second highest scorer. I mean, Isaac Price has got 5 in the league. Arno Hegerbe's got 4. And then Micah Johnson. I like Micah Johnson as well. Really good.
Did you see his goal against Preston?
Yeah, fantastic.
Oh, my. Again, screamer.
Well, he nearly went in the summer, didn't he? Was it Celtic or somebody? I think they put a bid for him, and it was close. I believe it was close, but they've kept him. I think they've done very well to keep him. He's got 2 goals. But again, looking through their team, there's lots of experience in there. They've got Caleb Taylor as their left back, Alex Mowat in midfield. Now, obviously, Mulumby's going to be suspended, so West Brom fans can tell us who they think will fill that position. And they've got Carlon Grant as well as their left winger, feeding into Isaac Price at 10, and then Hegerby up there as their number 9. They also play a 4-2-3-1. What I'd like to see, Matt, from Blues, I'd like to see us go at them. I mean, really, like we do at home.
Like it's a home game.
I'd like to really, really go at them, because teams have struggled against us when we've done that. We've got power up front now with Dux and Stansfield. We've got flair on the wings. We've got creativity in the team, and we've got solidarity in the midfield and the back as well. So I don't think West Brom are going to really be, looking forward to playing for us, but they will have the confidence of their home record, and this, and also as well, add in the spicy mix of a local derby, and suddenly sort of evens things up a little bit, doesn't it?
They'll be sellout, Dad. I know we've sold out our away allocation. Again, West Brom fans, let me know if it's a sellout.
I believe it is.
I believe it is. I'd be surprised if it's not.
I believe it is. So that they are a team that are capable, but they're very inconsistent. Some of their strengths as well. They like creating chances through individual skills. I do like that Isaac Price. From what I've seen of him, he looks like a quality player. I think he's going to develop, and he'll be a real sensational player in the future. He will. They like short passes and attacking through the middle, and they do try and play possession football. Now, we have given up a bit of possession, which has changed everything for us, hasn't it?
100%.
And we are now much more effective with the ball. Rather than keeping it for the sake of keeping it, we're actually doing something when we do get it. So,
also, Dad, what you highlight, which is so key, when you allow the team a little bit more possession, and we're not saying about giving complete respect to the opposition here, but giving them a little bit more of the ball, it opens gaps up.
Yes.
When you do get the ball, you can catch them on the counter, you can break quicker. I'm noticing and loving at the minute, like if we take the Norwich game and even the Millwall, the Portsmouth game, when they had little spells, as soon as we got the ball, because they were slightly in possession, you catch them quicker. So if we move that ball quickly, like we know we can, giving up that little bit of possession, I think at the moment is working really well for us. And I know you're a big fan of this, aren't you? Kind of letting loose of a little bit more possession in order to let the game flow a little bit better and actually go at them a bit quicker. Yeah,
because it gives us more choices then, because we obviously got a great press, and if we give them the ball, we've created chances where we take the ball off them, we overturn it, and I think that's one of the key things Chris Davies has looked at and has really made a massive difference to what we've done over the last half a dozen games, is that he's allowed the other opposition to have a little bit more possession.
You know what's really funny, Dad? Again, listening to some West Brom fans on social media, some of my friends who I work with who are West Brom fans, they sound like they had the same issue that we did at the start of the season. You know, pounding the rock. What Chris Davis likes to play is called pounding the rock. Isn't it? It's possession, it's possession, it's possession, and eventually, almost like the team tires itself out. That you then exploit that weaknesses sort of 70 minutes and above.
Yeah.
And apparently West Brom have been doing that in terms of they've been keeping hold of the ball, possession, but actually doing a lot with it.
Yeah, yeah.
And that it's so frustrating to watch, and I totally get that.
It worked for us last season in League One, but this is the Championship.
We had a few close ones even in League One, didn't we? So,
but teams don't tire out really in this league.
No, not in this league. No, the
Because-
fitness
and
levels.
and also as well, they've also got really fast subs to bring on as well. Whereas in League One there wasn't that level.
Yeah.
I mean, current form are very similar. Last 10, West Brom have won 3, drawn 2, lost 5. We've won 4, drawn 2, and lost 4.
Right.
So if you look at the last 10 games as a block for each team, there's not much difference in the teams, to be honest. I think for us, we've literally got to take on that form we've got at home, and we've got to start picking points up away. Because I say we are, there's no denying it. We are one of the worst away teams in the division. The statistics show that, and that's got to change for us.
It has. Yeah.
Should we go to the Blues team, Matt?
Let's do it then. To be fair, Dad, this is
thing
going
can
to
take
be
long.
really short. I mean, we'll name the players and the positions anyway. But I'm spoiler alert. Why change something that isn't
I don't think
broken?
we'll change it.
No. So should we go for it anyway, Dad? In the interest
well,
of
go on,
saying.
name the team, because I'm going to have the same team as you.
Right then, but should we go Beadle in goal? We're going to have Cochrane left back. We're going to have Neumann and Clara in the centre halves.
Yeah.
We're going to have a Watta at right back.
Yeah.
We're going to have Doyle and Leonard in the sixes.
Yeah.
We're going to have Dimmy on the left.
Yeah.
Dux in the Stano in the 10.
Yeah.
Roberts on the right, feeding into Dux in the 9.
See, Blues could put that on their social media now. They could, couldn't they?
Yeah,
Just announce the team now, because that's what it's going to be.
And also, do you know what gives me even more confidence it's going to be that? Is that we play Watford on the Monday, not the Saturday. So we get 2 extra days break.
I looked at for the first time. I remember some of our scheduling last year and some of it early this season. We've been playing games like with a 2 or 3 day gap. I looked at that as well, Matt. We've just played Norwich on the Saturday. We get West Brom on the Wednesday, not the Tuesday, and then we're the Monday game, so we haven't got a Saturday.
Actually get a decent score. By the way, Blues fans, this sort of caught me and Dad off guard. We're going to have a few videos in between then and now anyway, but Watford is on Monday, not on the Saturday.
Yeah,
because me and you were thinking, why is it on the Monday? We forgot, didn't we?
Yeah,
Completely forgot.
Monday 8 o'clock. I'm sure you'll all be there. Sold out again.
Yeah, I'd love for some people to turn up on Saturday.
Well,
no, I joke.
Well, if you do turn up on Saturday, the club shop's open. So the score prediction.
Score prediction. So I'm actually going for the same score prediction I had for Norwich at home.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for West Brom 1, Birmingham City 2.
That's exactly what I've gone for as well.
It'd be a close game, I think.
I think this will be a close game. But I think based upon what I'm seeing now from us, I really think we're starting to click. And I think at home, I believe we can beat anybody, and I truly believe that. Away, we're always on the edge a little bit. It's an away game. We're not doing very well. But I think this is a winnable game for us. And, I mean, to be fair, a draw would not be a disaster, but I think we can win this.
Yeah.
I think we can
You
win
know
it.
what, Dad? If you said to me right now, if you end the game and get a point, would you be happy? I think I'd still say yes.
Yes.
But I think we have enough to win this game, and I want to come back with it. I think this is a chance to make a statement win on the road where we can pick up some momentum in our away form, in my opinion. And don't get me wrong, Dad, West Brom are a good team. I'm not saying this is going to be an easy game. This is going to be a hard-fought 3-point team. Of course they are, but I think we can win this, so I'm going to go 2-1 Blues win.
Yeah, good. I like the rivalry, not rivalry really, but I suppose the banter with the Baggies fans as well. They're a good bunch, the Baggies, aren't they? Really, we sort of always have some. They come to ours, we go to theirs, and we always give each other stick. But it's not like there's no real bitterness like the Villas, and I'm sure Wolves for them as well. Not that we're friends, by the way, but it's just a nice.
I know what you mean.
It's a nice association, let's say, with the teams. But and they're well supported as well. They're a good side, West Brom, aren't they? So we're both going for a 2-1 win to the Blues.
Go for a 2-1 win for the Blues. A hard-fought 3 points for me, but looking forward to it as always when we get down to the Hawthorns.
Yeah, me too. So love to know your thoughts, Blues fans. What do you think? Give us your thoughts on the starting lineup if there's anything to think about. But what do you think the score will be? And West Brom fans as well, we welcome comments from the fans from the opposition team. So please add your comments below. All that we ask for any fan that puts a comment on our page is that we are a family podcast, and all we ask that your comments are respectful, not abusive, and not aggressive. So if you can do that for us, that'd be absolutely fine. If you did like this podcast, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't checked us out on our social media channels already, then pop along to our X page and our Instagram page. And if you like to watch or listen to your podcast on Spotify, you'll also find us on there as well now. And you'll see the handles appearing on the screen for all these channels right now. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already and you'd like to, then hit that big red subscribe button. And if you press that bell notification right next to the subscribe button, you'll get notified every time myself and Matt put out a new podcast. So that's it for this one. Hope you've enjoyed it. Myself and Matt will see you on the next one, all about the Chimney Boys.